whether we can make it happen. This is Morning Update, and I'm sure those of you who are watching us at home know that this program ends at 9 o'clock, and it's laced with all kinds of conversations from the issues affecting you at home to typical national issues that we will be discussing. This morning, many of us are aware by this time that the concern raised over decisions to pay salaries to the First Lady and the Second Lady is taking another twist, because as we speak, the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, says she's refunding all monies paid to her since 2017. That's about 900,000 cedis. She actually says that she did not ask for it. And if it is raising, and in the word they used, furore, then the best thing she has to do is to give the money back to the state and have a peace of mind. I will share that statement with you. But before that, let's do some weather report and take some tidbits as we do every morning. And the conversation will continue after that. Welcome back. This is TV Xyz, and we do this every Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 9 o'clock. And I'm sure many of us will be looking forward to what has happened next after we left off with the conversation yesterday. We know the Chief Justice has issued a statement. That statement was actually signed by the Judicial Secretary. It was petitioned to the Police Director General of CID. I want to read the Chief Justice's statement with you. In that statement, he denies that he has taken any bribe, $5 million. Again, he says that he never knows lawyer Akwesi Afrifa. He has never met him. The only reason why he can remember him is in the court, when he comes to court and his name is mentioned, or he introduces himself as a lawyer for any of the clients that he serves. And in that statement, he says that he's going to petition the General Legal Counsel. So let me read the statement by the Chief Justice as was sent to various media houses yesterday. And the statement is very, very simple. And I'll read verbatim how it came. It says the attention of His Lordship, the Chief Justice, has been drawn to copies of letters from lawyer Akwesi Afrifa and his client, the plaintiff in the matter of Ojedom Abranu Kwesiata the Sixth versus Ghana Telecommunications Company Limited and the Lands Commission, to the Disciplinary Commission of the General Legal Counsel, in which the letters are making rounds on, and it says, and which letters are making rounds on social media. His Lordship is saddened without any, I'm struggling, without any shred of evidence, his name has been dragged into this sordid and potentially criminal matter. His Lordship confirms that he does not know the plaintiff and has not met or seen him anywhere except in the courtroom when he rises to announce his name when his case is called. His Lordship asserts that he has no personal interaction either with the plaintiff or his lawyer on this matter or in any other matter. His Lordship further asserts that he has not demanded or received any money from any person to influence any decision in this matter or any other matter. Indeed, the records show that the plaintiff unsuccessfully petitioned for the recusal of His Lordship, the Chief Justice, and His Lordship Justice Victor Jones Maulom Doche from the matter on a claim that they were prejudiced against him. The records further show that the Chief Justice was the only judge on the panel who recently, on 31st March 2021, dissented in an application at the instance of the plaintiff, Ojedom Abranu Kwesiata, the fourth, in favor of the respondent, Ghana Telecommunications Company Limited. To ensure that this matter is fully investigated, His Lordship has directed that a formal complaint be made to the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service for investigations and any necessary action. He has further directed that the petition be lodged at the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Counsel in respect of the specific matter. His Lordship is available to assist with all investigations into this matter, while he orders his own civil action to ensure that this matter is dealt with to its logical conclusions, and is signed by Justice Cynthia Pamela Addo, the Judicial Secretary. It is copied to His Lordship, the Chief Justice, the President of Ghana, the President of the Ghana Bar Association, and all other media houses. So that's the latest on the allegation against the Chief Justice, that he demanded a bribe of $5 million. There are all kinds of schools of thought, and I believe that as we speak, we'll be looking up to how the police CID will conduct this investigation. I'm also aware that ASEPA has also petitioned the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, to conduct an independent investigation into this matter. Yesterday, we spoke to a senior political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Jonathan Asante Ochre, who says that in view of the position of the Chief Justice and because of the influence he has on institutions that collaborate with the judicial service to prosecute people, it will not be appropriate for the Chief Justice to continue to stay in office while the police CID investigates the matter, because his office can easily influence the police investigations. Some will say the police is an independent institution, but I believe that if the Chief Justice indeed has not done anything wrong and the police will be swift in their investigations, there's nothing wrong if the Chief Justice steps aside as has been suggested by Jonathan Asante Ochri. He is also calling on the president to show interest in this particular case and, if necessary, ask the Chief Justice to step aside, because the image of the judicial service has already been dented. And this sensitive case is such that any suggestion that there is some form of manipulation or cover-up will further worsen public perception about the Supreme Court, about the High Court, Appeals Court, and so on and so forth. But this is just the beginning of the controversy. We are not assuming that what the accuser has said is right, or what the Chief Justice is saying is right in any way. We don't believe in any of the positions held by any of the parties involved. But as a media house, our interest is to ensure that the actors involved are given a fair playing field for this to unravel. We are picking information that the National Democratic Congress will address a news conference later this afternoon. That news conference information we are picking is that it's likely to address this particular issue, the bribery allegation against the Chief Justice, and possibly the controversy around the decision to pay the wives of the president and that of the vice president. Now, at this stage, I don't know exactly what is in your mind, but I want to read excerpts of the statement by the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo. I'll later show you the statement on the screen when it is ready. But this is exactly the information I want to share with you. According to her office, since the assumption of office by the First Lady, she has received close to 900,000 cedis. Apparently, it's about 899,000 plus, which she will refund in full to the state. In the statement dated yesterday, July 12, and signed by Koko Blebo, Director of Communications at the Office of the First Lady, Mrs. Akufo-Addo said even though she did not request to be paid any allowance, she will refund the amount in view of the public furor that has followed the recent disclosure that presidential spouses were to be formally remunerated per an emolument committee report. Now, I want to quote some particular portions of the statement. The First Lady is in consultation with the President of the Republic and has decided to refund all monies paid to her as allowances from the date of the President's assumption of office, that's January 2017, to date, amounting to 899,097 cedis, 0.84 pesos. The First Lady has also decided not to accept any monies that have been allocated to her pursuant to the Intiamwa Bedu Committee as approved by Parliament. She's doing this as a purely personal decision without prejudice to the rights of others and not to undermine the propriety of the process undertaken by Parliament. And the statement concluded by making reference to all the claims made over the period. So that's the position of the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo. We are picking information that the office of the Second Lady is also likely to follow suit. And so that's been the conversation for now. At this stage, I don't have my newspapers early in today, and so I'll be taking a short break. When I come back, I'll share with you what Lens Multimedia has forwarded to me by way of some of the exciting headlines in some of the newspapers.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always brave, fresh, natural, eggs, mineral, water.
You still got it.
Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back. This is Morning Update. Wisdom Hedejoma is standing by with the news. But before that, let me do a brief interview. Yesterday, the United Keda Front issued a statement. The statement basically condemned the decision to pay first ladies and said that with immediate effect, that decision must be reversed. I've been joined on the line by Comrade Keda Shine Gave, who is the national chairman. I want to have a brief interview with him, especially because the First Lady says, look, all money is paid. I am refunding it. I don't even need it anymore. Is that satisfactory, at least for now? Good morning, Shine. Shine, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Fine. Yesterday, you issued this statement, and I believe that your demeanor, as far as this conversation is concerned, may be different from today, because we know that the public pressure is achieving results. The First Lady says, I don't need the money. I am refunding everything that was paid to me since January 2017. Is that enough? Has it satisfied your expectation?
Well, thank you very much, my brother. We have heard, and we have seen letters flying around saying that the First Lady and then the Second Lady are saying they are no longer interested and they are paying back. All that we want to say is that in the first place, it was wrong for them to receive such money payments. Salaries that the committee suggested that they should be paid and was approved by Parliament. If they have decided that because of public furor, to quote somebody, they are paying back, fine, they should pay back. But what we need is evidence of payment. Evidence of payment. As for letters, their secretaries or spokespersons or whoever can write to say that, yes, we are bringing the money, we are paying back the money. But the evidence must be there that they have paid. And there must be proper check to make sure that those monies have been paid back to chest.
This issue, especially when people want to hold the two ladies directly responsible, because in the statement she says that, look, I didn't demand it. It was a decision by a committee. I didn't give the terms of reference to the committee. She's not a member of Parliament. A decision has been taken, but we know there has been a convention where all First Ladies since 1992 have received some form of allowance from the presidency. But this conversation has provoked them to say, look, every money paid, we are returning it. And so if the conversation now is, let them pay, let them show us evidence, we are narrowing it to make it assume the posturing that, look, from 2017, they were paid salaries. This just happened perhaps before the close of 2020. And so it appears as if we want to direct the guns at people who are not directly involved in this particular controversy.
No, it's not so. You see, like you said, every government that came right from the first government of the Fourth Republic, that's the late President Rawlings, who instituted these allowances for former first ladies and second ladies. Every government, successive government, paid allowances. That one we don't mind. Allowance is fine. But to be paid salaries, not ordinary salaries, but as cabinet ministers, looking at the quantum of money that will be paid out to people who are doing nothing. To the eye of the public, they are doing nothing. Okay? To be paid salaries and to people who are not even Article 71 holders. I mean, it's something that the public cannot accept. We have, as for the allowances, we have no problem with that because at least they will have to buy one or two things to take care of themselves and even organize themselves properly and all that. We don't mind about that one. But it is the salaries that they have been paid from 2017 to date. They must refund that one.
All right, Shine. So can we say that the decision to snub the recommendation by the committee will bring this matter to rest, or there's more to that?
The decision to do what?
The decision to reject the payment as recommended. Does it bring the matter to rest?
Well, what will bring the matter to rest is to make sure that they don't pass through the back door. Because we know the people we are dealing with. We know the people we are dealing with.
Okay.
They will front the letters saying that, oh, we are listening to the public. The public is talking about this. We are listening to them, and so we are paying back. But then payment will be done at the back door, through the back door. We will not accept that one. So
all right. So Shine. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. We tried to squeeze you through because of our schedule this morning, and we are grateful for the position that the monies refunded, there must be proof that it's done, and there should be no attempt to use the back door to pass monies to them if indeed they insist that they don't want the money. You also are suggesting that you don't have a problem with allowances if the presidency decided to go ahead with what has been a convention, but the opposition is against what was an illegality that should be ending this controversy by now. But I know that CDD, for example, is saying that, look, that is not all. It must be extended to the convention where the state buys vehicles for members of parliament, especially those who keep being retained every other 4 years. In 30 seconds, would you subscribe to that, yes or no?
Well, that is another matter to discuss, and I think that let's deal with the present issue. Okay,
thank you very much. Shine Gave is the chairman, national chairman of the United Cadres Front, an affiliate of the NDC. Wisdom Hedejome will be here shortly to present the news.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to so many Accra.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check.
Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadrum Road, for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks. Check.
Auto checks. Your safety, our priority.
Peace of mind is very essential in your journey to success. For Akwesi Papa, peace of mind means having a proper covering over his family. Literally. For Araba, aka Injection Mama, it's about having the funds to complete her advanced nursing course. And as for Corporal Odami, it's as simple as reporting on time for his shifts. Sometimes all you need is a simple push. At Needs Microfinance, we have tailor-made loan packages for salaried workers under the Controller General's Department. With the low interest rate and quick wahala-free process, you are guaranteed of a timely solution to get back that peace of mind, literally in 30 minutes. Needs Microfinance. Growing with you.
If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai cry mabre, me busia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yamamwa kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ya wonhyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekuokuo abosia, susu account, ɛne da so wɔ hɔ savings account, me bada chain savings account, ɛne de akeka ho. Press Suhum Rural Bank was 034229186. Na won so wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
And it's that time of the morning again where we update you on all the running stories. And in this edition, Chief Justice requests for CID to investigate bribery allegation against him triggers mixed reactions, but critics insist the president must show interest and ask the CJ to step aside. Trade Union Congress dares government to deny if indeed salaries backdated to 2017 have been paid to the first and second ladies. Meanwhile, the first lady has confirmed receiving close to 900,000 cedis in allowances. Also in this bulletin, President Akufo-Addo's tour of the Upper West regions are expected to come to an end beginning today, where he will also address residents of recent military brutalities. And also a little later, injured Temato booth accident victims responding to treatment. We have details of these and other stories coming up. Please stay with us. Now we can do the details. Now, public interest in the alleged bribery allegation involving Chief Justice Kwesi Enin-Yeboah is shifting to the police CID, which is expected to begin investigations anytime soon. Now, it thus follows a petition by the Judicial Service, which said the Chief Justice denies fourthly and is considering a civil suit against lawyer Kwesi Efrifa aside a formal complaint before the General Legal Council. Now, the Chief Justice, in a statement, cites the reaction of Ojedom Abrenu Akwesiata the Sixth, the Chief Justice of the Chief of Ifutu and Gomua Traditional, who demanded that Kwesi Enin-Yeboah recuses himself for the only judge on the panel who had the dissenting view in the case against the Ghana Telecommunications Company Limited. The position was held by a spokesperson for Ojedom Abrenu Akwesiata the Sixth, who spoke to TVX Xyz News.
Controversy over the $5 million bribery allegation involving the Chief Justice may have been influenced by an underlying factor. punishment by the General Legal Council in 2017 for professional misconduct. The first involved one Dr. Emilia Timpo in a probate case involving her mother's estate by assisting her to obtain letters of administration, and his U-turn against her by representing Dr. Timpo's brother. TVXYZ News has learned he was subsequently suspended by the General Legal Council, but an appeals court later reduced that sentencing to 18 months. Speaking on Morning Update on the subject, Alexander Com Aban, spokesperson for the chief at the center of the controversy, Ojedom Abranu Kwesi Attah VI, suggested lawyer Kwesi Afrife's allegation against Justice Kwesi Enin-Yeboah is false, cooked to dent his integrity as Chief Justice out of bitterness. Alexander Com Aban, who is also a legal practitioner, questions how the Chief Justice, who allegedly demanded a bribe of $5 million, will write dissenting views against the ruling warranting Ojedom Abranu Kwesi Attah VI's demand on him to recuse himself. He spoke on Morning Update here on TV XYZ.
He has his own animosity towards the man. He cannot run away from that. It's something that I know. It's something that Ojedom himself knows. Because in his engagement with him, there have been many times that this lawyer has spoken ill of the Chief Justice. The reason being that at the time that he was handed down that suspension, the Chief Justice was the chairman of the General Legal Council. So he was the one who handed down that punishment to him. The very person who is alleged to have been bribed was the one who even dissented in the ruling. The Chief Justice dissented in that ruling of Ojedom versus Vodafone. In the application where Ojedom sought to also adduce fresh evidence on appeal.
Now, you heard Alexander Com Aban, who is a legal practitioner who also speaks for Ojedom Kwesi Abranu Attah. That's it. Now, a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Cape Coast, Jonathan Otri, strongly believes that Chief Justice's continued stay in office will influence investigations into their matter. He believes the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, must step in to save the sinking image of the judiciary.
But the case as it stands now, and in the interest of justice, he must not be made to interfere in the process. That is one. Two, as to whether he should resign, I think that his conscience should judge him fairly on that particular decision if he wants to take. Other than that, the president could equally, since he is the appointing authority, could equally institute something that will ensure that probably it steps aside. I think that decision ought to come from the legal council. And then probably the Ghana Bar Association will also have to put in a word.
Now, as we do know, the Chief Justice has asked the police to investigate the matter. Well, it's yet for the Ghana Bar Association, as it's been calling for, to also make some comments. Well, let's turn attention to the Trades Union Congress, because it is daring government to deny a statement that government has already begun paying the first and second ladies, which was backdated to 2017. Deputy Secretary General of the TUC, Jonathan Asante, who spoke to TVXYZ News, says the development is fueling agitation among workers who feel shortchanged.
Till last Sunday, many Ghanaians were made to believe that the Ntiamwa Beidu Committee's recommendations for payment of salaries to the wives of Ghana's president and that of his vice were yet to be implemented. The public is, however, shocked by a categorical statement by the Trades Union Congress, suggesting the public may be crying over spilled milk because Rebecca Akufo-Addo and Samira Bawumia have actually been paid and was backdated to 2017 as recommended. The TUC statement, which is demanding an immediate refund of millions of the taxpayers' money illegally lodged into their account, said, and I quote, "Salary arrears dated back to January 2017 have since been paid to the wives of President Nana Akufo-Addo and Vice President Dr. Bawumia's wife in accordance with the committee's recommendations, which was approved by NDC and NPP members of Parliament." Deputy Secretary General of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, insists their claims are factual and is daring government to deny if no such payments have been made.
We actually
put the facts on the ground first, that this is the information we know, this is the facts that is known to us, so we are speaking to the facts. Unless otherwise it turns out to be that it is not true that they have been paid. We challenge that you come and tell us that it is not true, they have not been paid, and so on and so forth. This morning, when I was listening to one of the radio stations and in the papers, I also heard that one of the papers has written boldly that the Inter-Amount Commission is saying that they have never recommended payment of salaries to the spouses. I'm yet to read and know the true fact of that issue too.
The development has angered the public, particularly workers, fueling agitations against leadership of trade unions for negotiating only 4% pay rise in 2021. The TUC is pleading with them to exercise restraint and has assured it will fight the illegality. Organized labor, which blames both sides of parliament for conniving with the president, describes the development as shameful, worrying, and a breach of trust. Deputy Secretary General of the TUC, Joshua Ansah, explains further.
I want to advise all workers of this country to exercise restraint. Their leadership will not sit down for things to be done unconstitutionally. We are ready to call on the government for them to do the right thing when we say that things are not going well. If government is saying the economy is not good because of COVID and so on and so forth, let us all sacrifice and move on. I think this is not a time for us to be debating on such an issue.
Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo has indicated she will refund all monies paid her since 2017. Now, according to her office, since the assumption office by the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, she has received close to 900,000 cedis, which will be refunded in full to the state. In a statement dated July 12 and signed by Koko Bleku, Director of Communications at the Office of the First Lady, Mrs. Akufo-Addo, said even though she did not suggest to be paid any allowances, she will refund the amount in view of the public fury that has followed the recent the disclosure that presidential spouses were to be formally remunerated per emolument committee report. Portions of the statement read, and I quote, "The First Lady, in consultation with the President of the Republic, has decided to refund all monies paid to her as allowances from the date of President's assumption of office, i.e. January 2017 to date, amounting to 899,907.84 cedis. Now the statement continued. The First Lady has also decided not to accept any monies that have been allocated to her pursuant to the Inter-Amount Committee as approved by Parliament." And so if I should repeat the figure just so you may be aware, 899,097 cedis, 84 pesos, and that's how much she is supposed to be refunding to the state, as you may be aware. Well, let's turn attention now to the president, and Nana Akufo-Addo is on a working vessel to the upper regions, I should say, of Ghana. He's crossing over to Wa today, where he's expected to address residents on the recent military brutalities.
President Akufo-Addo, who has been touring some parts of northern Ghana since Sunday, begins his two-day tour of the Upper West region this morning at Wana's Palace, where he will interact with Fuseni Saidu Pelpo IV, the overlord of the Wala traditional area, and his elders. According to his schedule, he will proceed to Radio Upper West for an interview, depart to Tumu in the Sisala East municipality, where he will pay courtesy call on the paramount chief of the Tumu traditional area, who is also a member of the Council of State. Besides the courtesy call, his major activity will be the commissioning of a business resource center at Tumu before returning to Wa to pass the night. On day 2 of his tour of Upper West, the president, who is accompanied by key appointees from the region, will inspect ongoing projects in the Nandom and Lambusi districts. He is also expected to interact with the paramount chief and people of Lambusi traditional area, and same with the chiefs of Nandom. His radio engagements, according to his aides, are to address concerns about the recent military brutalities in Wa and assure citizenry of full protection. He is expected to be joined by the Minister for Defense, Dominic Nitiwu, Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, and other influential appointees from the region. The President, who has been in the Upper West region of Ghana since Sunday, has commissioned the 85-bed Central Gonja District Hospital, located in Buipe. The project, which commenced in 2018, is one of 6 medical facilities under construction in Somenya, Sola, Bamboy, Tolong, and Ketu North.
Now, the president yesterday wrapped up his tour of the Savannah region at the Salaga. The president commissioned a water supply project, which is expected to supply 20,000 gallons of water a day to residents, and a newly constructed AstroTurf football pitch for residents. A statement issued by the Jubilee House said he also inspected the ongoing 71-kilometer Bujai to Fufosu Road project, which connects Bunjai to Iape through Tuluwe and Kusogu to Fusulu. Now, he also paid a courtesy call on the Kwimbe Wura Babanye Inde Fusu II. Now, back here in Accra, a group calling itself the Concerned Citizens of Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency is calling on the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, to, as a matter of urgency, suspend plans to reappoint Sandra Wusu Ahinkra as MC for the district. Now, addressing a news conference yesterday, the group accused her of incompetence and blamed the warning fortunes of the party on what they described as her selfish interest and lack of development through the tenure. Convener of the group is also the former assembly member for the Airport Roman Ridge electoral area, Samuel Dua, cited mismanagement and vindictiveness.
Mr. President, that Honorable Sandra is here to protect the public. Honorable Sandra is not here to protect the public purse because of some of her corrupt acts she has exhibited over some time. A typical example is the renovation and painting of Legon Star Village School, which was awarded to a company by Prohol Company Limited. This contract was awarded at a contract sum of 863,758.52 Ghana cedis, close to 9 billion old Ghana cedis.
And before we go, medics at the Tema General Hospital say those who survived the Tema Tobud accident yesterday are responding well to treatment. Government has also assured its readiness to assist their victims.
To doctors, all the 6 who survived are responding to treatment at the Tema General Hospital. The sad incident, which resulted in the death of 1 person, occurred when a tipper truck driver crashed into the toll booth at the Tema end of the motorway yesterday. Medics who briefed the Roads and Highways Minister, Samuel Amwako-Atta, accompanied by some police couples from the Tema region. None of the injured is currently in a life-threatening condition. The Roads and Highways Minister assured the victims of government support. The deceased, identified as Isaac Ojokumsin, is said to have sustained multiple fractures to the legs and arm. It was an emotional scene as passers-by struggled to save those trapped beneath the truck. This is not the first time a heavy-duty vehicle has rammed into a toll booth. In February 2010, 2 died on the spot when an articulated truck rammed into the toll booth, killing the driver of the truck and a toll booth attendant.
And that pretty does it for this morning's edition. As always, do log on to my xyzonline.com for more stories. Always follow us on all our social media handles at TVXYZ Ghana. Good morning.
Peace of mind is very essential in your journey to success. For Akwesi Papa, peace of mind means having a proper covering over his family. Literally. For Araba, aka Injection Mama, it's about having the funds to complete her advanced nursing course. And as for Corporal Odami, it's as simple as reporting on time for his shifts. Sometimes all you need is a simple push. At Needs Microfinance, we have tailor-made loan packages for salaried workers under the Controller General's Department. With the low interest rate and quick wahala-free process, you are guaranteed of a timely solution to get back that peace of mind, literally in 30 minutes. Microfinance, growing with you. Welcome to the Royal Dazzle Event Center. With a lush and well-maintained lawn and garden, you are assured of the best serene and comfortable atmosphere to organize all your family and social events. Live the royal moments here with friends and family. The hosting capacity of 600 to 800 people makes Royal Dazzle the most versatile of places to host weddings, parties, funerals, conferences, concerts, and many more. Create your memories with us. Call us for inquiries on 055-814-8585 or 024-620-2144, or pass by and speak to any of our friendly staff. Locate us at Myjohn, close to Zoom Lion headquarters. Royal Dazzle Event Center, creating memories.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah. Always free, fresh, natural, mix, mineral, water.
You still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome to the social segment on the morning update. My name, as always, is Nana Abena Selwa. And as Wisdom indicated, do not forget to join our social media handles. It's TV XYZ Ghana. When you send a comment, also do not forget to hashtag XYZ Morning Update. I have seen messages coming to my DMs on Instagram from my Kumerica fans. Thank you so much for watching the show. We do this for you, so we are glad that you appreciate what we are doing as well. And also, my lovers at EcoBank, I don't mean it in the other way, meaning Ms. Remoa. So yes, my faithful viewers, EcoBank Legon branch, also thank you so much for watching the show and being diligent and sending in your comments. Again, whenever you send comments online, don't forget to hashtag XYZ Morning Update. Our WhatsApp number is 0556 999 999. WhatsApp only. I'm sure you've heard of SNIT card or SNIT numbers combining with National Identification Authority. What is it? Bebre. And then me were experts waha of SNIT now about on here because I have friend Charles Akwe Gashon. He's coming to tell us why we should get on board, the relevance of it, of course, and how you can get on board as well, and so many other things. And to Mr. Moa, in so we need ex natural mineral water, Mr. Obiodon, the next provision shopper, I won't change, Ubehu, I will to be a natural mineral water. And Mr. Get your water and let's have this conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. I
said I was going to be a parrot. Should I continue? No. Charles Akwe Gashon, yes. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much, Abna.
So we've been hearing about a measure. Can you tell us, give us a brief overview of what the measure is about?
All right. Thank you very much and good morning to our viewers. The SNIT NI measure is a very simple process to link
Mr. Malvo is okay,
to link our SNIT numbers with the NI numbers. That is the personal ID number on the Ghana card. Inti obejoine SNIT yemao number eye ashen so die strong kwa obiara be use. Na sa number no ene no ye different income boom. Obiara owo Ghana card no obun say owo number bi wo so ya chiro no personal ID number. I refer to it as your NI number. Into this NI number no ye the SNIT number dada na owo no e combine. Into ye combine wi a unni SNIT number fufuru biuma eye fufuru from NI number no. Into NI number na owo Ghana card no so no. Eno ene be gina wa ma your SNIT number.
Okay. Yet, before the voters' registration, ID card registration, Electoral Commission said they were going to use the database from NIA, which they didn't. So what is your motivation?
All right. So if you look at the present scheme we are operating, we realize that we need to go through a certain process to authenticate our members. Now, combining the SNIT number with the NIA number, no, it gives us a better platform for easy identification of members and even dependents of disease members.
Okay.
Into the fact that institution A use does not mean say ye to me use and I say ye use ye. In fact, very soon all public institutions ehana ubia eko. SNIT is just among the first institution to take this giant step to make sure say our numbers are merged so that all of us will use just one number for multiple transactions.
Okay. So the relevance of this is?
One, once you have the two numbers merged, you don't need to worry about carrying two cards. So it's going to create convenience.
Okay.
Why carry two cards if one can do the job?
Okay.
Then secondly, if you are, as you may know, we've stopped issuing cards, SNIT cards to people. So if people want to have the SNIT card, they need to request and pay some money to have it printed for them. So by migrating or merging the SNIT number with the NI number, it is going to save us the members' cost. So you don't need to come and say, I want a SNIT card, so print and let me pay, because you already have the Ghana card. The other issue, it is going to help reduce fraud.
Okay.
Sometimes when people are diseased, there's a challenge in identifying the dependents for you to pay the money to. So once we have the Ghana card, it's going to help with easy identification of dependents. So that is also going to be a plus for us. And now we are improving on a daily basis. We keep improving our service provision. So this ties in beautifully to our quest to improve service to our members.
Okay. All right. So how is this going to be done? Mefa me SNIT card ne Ghana ka mefa glue na mefa ntare one. And how would the measure be done?
Thank you very much, Abna. The measure really is done through very simple processes. Yes, on 28 June, Ibimu numbers were merged for them automatically. So you realize when they were registering for the NI card, they provided their SNIT numbers. Until once they gave their SNIT numbers to the NI registration team, instantly you start a measure process because on my numbers kind of saying NI holder so the system merged their numbers automatically, and notices were sent to them that their numbers have been merged.
Okay.
So that is one group of people. That is almost about 495,000 members had their numbers being merged.
Okay.
Then those of us who didn't go through that process or who didn't submit our numbers, we created two platforms. One, the use of short code, and the other is the use of our website.
Okay.
And see, say merge your numbers now, we have a short code that is *711*9#. *711*9#. So once you pick your phone, whether it is a smartphone, Yam phone, or banana phone, all you need to do is to dial the number. Then you select option 1 to merge your numbers. Having selected option 1, you'll be requested to enter your SNIT number, after which you'll be requested to enter your NI number. Then the merger process begins. It will do some checking to see if your biometrics with SNIT is the same as that in the NI database. Then your numbers will be merged.
Okay.
After the numbers are merged, numbers will be sent, your messages will be sent to your email or phone number that we have in our database. In case your merger is not successful, a message will be sent to you telling you to contact our contact center on 0302 611 622 or to send us email, and we'll follow to assist you do the merger. So that is for the first part. Those who want to use the website will simply have to log on to www.snit.org.gh. Once you log on to our website, you look on the screen and you see on the right side of the screen my statement. You click my statement, then you'll be requested to sign in or to get access if you have not used our website before. But once you have used our website before, it means you have logon details. So you simply sign in, then you go to the My Statement page, click on Merge My NI number, enter your NI number, and do the merger. So these are the simple processes that you can use.
Right. Not everyone is technologically inclined. So for such people, how do they go through the process? Do they have to come to the office? Do you have people that are assisting them? How do they go about their registration?
All right. The process is pretty simple, but if people don't have a means of getting it done on their phones or on our website, they can simply walk into any Senate office, any of our 51 branches across the country, and they'll be assisted to do the merger.
Okay. So, SNIT, how is your collaboration with companies in terms of timelines?
Timelines?
Yeah, I know you have time with respect to what you're exactly.
All right, so we've given every worker, or every worker has up to the 31st of December this year to ensure that the numbers have been merged. So we don't want to get to that point, but the law is requiring that we all need to have an NI card to be able to access pension services in the country. So up to 31st December, 6 months is enough time for all of us to merge our numbers. Beyond that, it means you are going to deny yourself the opportunity to access pension services in the country. So let's not deny ourselves. Let's try and do the merger. But from next year, all employers will be required to pay their contribution, the contribution of members, using their NI number. So if they are coming to pay and you don't have an NI number, you are simply telling your employer that don't pay for me.
Okay. Some people presented their SNIT card during the registration of their NI. Do they still have to do this merger?
No. For most of these people, their numbers have been merged, unless probably they had not gone through the SNIT biometric registration. So one key thing we have to know is that if you have not done the SNIT biometric registration, your merger will not be successful. So if you presented, it is possible your numbers have been merged. So you need to check whether the merger has been successful. So you can also dial *711*9#, and then you select option 2, which is check merger status. So you enter your SNIT number or your NIA number, and if the merger has been successful, a message will be sent to you. If it is not, you'll be given notice that your merger, you've not merged the numbers, so go ahead and do the merger.
Right. I have some statistics I want us to look at. So these are the numbers from NIA as for people who have registered. So we have it there. It says the printed cards as at now is 14,689,672, and then the cards that have been issued is 13,848,697. Now, compared to SNIT contributors, what numbers are you looking at?
All right, so we have about 1.63 million active contributors.
Okay.
And even with this number, not everyone has gone through the biometric registration.
Okay.
So looking at the number of cards that have been issued, in fact, the number of the numbers that have been generated, the people who have gone through the biometric registration is less than 10% of the cards that have been issued. So if we can't tell if all these people have their numbers or have gone through the NI registration. But going per the numbers, we are just around 10% of the numbers that were seen on the screen. So for even SNET people or SNET members who have not gone through the the NI registration, they can walk into any of their offices and get registered. I'm told they are working in 34 Ghana Revenue Authority offices. So if you walk in there and get your numbers printed or your registration done and you come to us, we'll do the merger for you.
Okay. Now, what happens to my SNET card after this registration? Does it become redundant or I can still use it?
No, it becomes redundant. After the merger, your SNET card has no value.
Okay, so I also have some graphics I want us to take a look at. This is actually from SNET. So you'd help us appreciate this better. So there you are. You mentioned how to go about the registration.
Exactly. So if you want to use the short code, you can pick your phones right now, the steps that are on the phone. So you dial *711 *9#. You select option 1 to merge your numbers. You enter your SNET number. Then you enter your email if the number you are using is not for you. So ideally, you need to use the phone or the number that you have given to us already.
Okay.
But if you are using a different number, the system will require you to provide an email address. Then you enter your NI number. You select option 1 to complete the measure, and it is as simple as that.
Okay, awesome. What happens if I fail to do this?
If you fail to do this, then it means you are denying yourself access to pension come 2022. Because without that, if you look at the National Identity Register, that is LI 2111, it requires that to access pension services in the country, you will need to have the Ghana card. So please don't deny yourself. Please and please again, merge your numbers.
Right. We have the formal sector and the informal sector. How easy or difficult has it been getting both involved?
With the merger, it is not difficult. It's not been difficult getting the two sides involved.
Okay.
We virtually treat everybody once you join the scheme. You are all regarded same. You are all going to get the same benefit. So we try to customize the communication that goes to the formal and that's for the informal. But generally, the response has been good from both sides.
All right. Now, there have been calls for pensioners to renew their pensioner certificates, or they risk getting their names taken off the pensioners' payroll. What is this about, and how is it related to the merger?
All right. Thank you very much. When you retire and you go on, we will put you on the monthly pension. Your pension is paid for life. So long as you are alive, you keep receiving your pension.
Okay.
However, from age 72, we need to be certain that you are alive, else your pension will be stopped.
Okay.
So beyond 72, every year you need to come and do what you call pensioner certificate renewal. So if you don't renew your pensioner certificate, your name will be deleted. When the COVID started somewhere last year, we stopped this renewal of the pensioner certificate because we realized it was going to create some inconvenience for the pensioners. So that has been in place till now. As a result, we realized people who are above 72, about 14,000 and over, have not renewed their pensioner certificate. We cannot be certain whether they are alive or not. So from August, or they've been given up to end of August to renew their certificate. So from 1st September, anyone who has not renewed the pensioner certificate, the name will be deleted from the Senate pension payroll. The assumption will be that the person is no more. So it is not related to the NI Ghana card merger. It is a regular exercise we've been doing, and we are hoping that people will take advantage of it and get it done, else their names will be taken off the pension payroll.
But you have field officers, so why not tax them to go to their respective homes? Because I'm sure you have their locations as well. If you've been paying them for a while, then you know where they live. Because some may be bedridden.
All right. We've been paying them, but it is difficult to know where the pensioners live. We have over 200,000 plus pensioners, okay, almost 250,000 pensioners. And they are scattered all over the country. So getting to know some of these places is difficult. So we reach them through phone calls, we reach them through text message, SMS. Some, you send a message, you don't get feedback. So what we try to do, we engage them through the Pensioners Association. They have Pensioners Association at the various districts. And this is information they know. When people are bedridden, the information is out there. We tell them, let your relatives let us know.
Okay.
We'll bring our systems to your home to authenticate that you are the same person on our pension payroll to guarantee payment of the pension. So those who can come to our offices, we encourage them to do so. But those who cannot come, all they need to do is to send a note to us or place a call to us, and our team will visit such pensioner at home.
Right. So during this exercise, which is renewing the certificate, what are the timelines for this?
Okay, so all pensioners who fall in that category have up to the 31st of August to do so. Beyond that, their names will be taken off. And if your name is taken off the pension payroll, it will only be restored when you come and
so
do
it can be restored?
It can be restored.
Okay.
It can be restored. And if you are off for, say, 3 months, it will be restored, and the 3 months pension you lost will be paid to you. But you need not go through that inconvenience. Let's do the pensioner certificate renewal as soon as possible. If you cannot visit our offices, please call the contact center on 0302-641-622 or send a relative to inform us at the nearest branch, and we'll come and do the needful.
This may not necessarily be related to the measure, but it's also important. What are you doing about companies that are dodging the payment of SNIT?
All right, so we have a system in place where we go out there and inspect organizations, where organizations or companies are not paying for their workers. We serve them notice to try to tell them that they need to do A, B, or C.
Mm-hmm.
Some are even paying, but they have underdeclared salaries. The person is on a salary of 5,000, but his contributions are being paid on 2,000. It means your life will be worse off if you retire. So we prompt these people, and if they don't come to pay, we try to serve summons on them to appear in court. In fact, failure to pay or any such infringement on the law is a criminal offense,
Mm-hmm.
and you can be jailed for as long as 5 years, and you can also be fined for a couple of penalty units. So we have a team in place. We have a task force that goes around to make sure that people are doing, but we cannot be everywhere at any times,
Mm-hmm.
at all times. So we ask people that if you have issues, please report to us. Call the contact center. We'll try and protect your identity, but we'll make sure that the organization that you are working for pays for you because it is your right.
Right. Mr. O, in 30 seconds, because I have to wrap up, my other audience will also benefit from this.
Okay, I'm saying any idea no kind of tree kakra nti yes I can be say pensioners are omenya 72 echo omu renew omu pension certificate which last year ebe ni nyina because of COVID ebe no ya mom up to busumi ebe room August busumi na the wie wentumi anya September ebe you din every pensioners payroll ne so and I say we adwuma wo baby na o employers entua mawa yesere o de maya sunti ye wo kwan ebe fa so ebe make sure say on betua ma because o pension o da che na ehun behia ahonde ade ye adwuma sisia no en wo ho de bia ahonde no so bete na mom untumi nko adwuma ba ese sika no wa no no eso nti still e ubedidi nti o pension en ebe boa o sa brem nti ebe sere se wo tibie mu sa maya sunti na yesan sere se onye o meja na fa phone star 711 star 9 hash na starting meja ni sisia na eno ebeba odache.
Yeah, that's it, very. Thank you for the education. It's been very insightful talking to you. Now, the gentleman you just saw, who is right here, is the acting public affairs manager. His name is Charles Akwe Gashon, and he's been telling us about the measure with the SNIT card and, of course, the national identification card as well. And to Ms. Sharma, if you missed this conversation, and I said you came to join at the tail end, then please, you can get the whole show again on YouTube. So follow all of our social media handles. It's TVXYZ Ghana. Once you watch it once on YouTube, it will always give you the notification whenever the show starts. My name is Nana Abunat Sewa, and this has been the social segment on the Morning Update. Our newspaper review continues.
We are one-man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo. Can I join you guys?
Yeah. Always brave, fresh, natural, X, mineral, water.
You still got it.
Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Masa, tam Maria, I'm kind of coffee. I am doing more budget more than Jam. Have a beer, you can have a baby, right?
HD logo the bottom. Where they say HD local channels na mo bedo. And so pictures here clear. E 5 times better. As in other channels can go be show hormone. So go dey mention man tram rock why. Oh, what the pictures. What a picture. What do AD plus decoder or multi TV and now Electroland agent PR natural local channels now HD the here so better star 879 hash numbers from people box and now the advert AD channels now.
Get an HD Plus decoder from now till the 9th of August for just $89.99 Ghana cedis and enjoy 3 months free subscription. Enjoy all the excitement and live sports action in the HD Plus Air Bosso Philly promo lasts from 7th June to 9th August 2021. Visit hd-plus.com.gh or call 024-243-9872 for more info.
Half a nose for good things.
If I cry na menyisika, etia ye mefui.
Ehin fa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre, mi busia ato taxi foforo. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yamamwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ya won hyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekuokuo bosia, susu account, and it does wɔ hɔ savings account, me bada chain savings account, and the akeka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 034229186. Na won so what to me aka sɛ.
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka owner.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Thanks for staying. So SNET has helped us to appreciate the need to integrate our numbers. And they also had a message for our fathers and mothers who, after their hard work over the years, are on retirement. For those of you who still take care of them if they are incapacitated or maybe physically challenged because of the ages, just make sure you follow the advice so that at any time they have to go for the meager allowances. I describe them as allowances or what they call pension. They cannot be disappointed because they fail to go through the due process as prescribed. This morning, my guest is in. He's been out here for a while, and today he's back. Joe Jackson, Dalex Finance Director of Operations. And the man talks big, and he's here. Joe, you are welcome.
Very well. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. You know, anytime I come across you, I feel like I'm home, even though I'm not from the central region. Because I grew up there, and so when I meet somebody who speaks direct, Fante, Oka Fante, no me pure, na ma fifi.
Fante is oye do.
Sure.
Oye do, obey. Obey, oye do. Say, hen, papa, wa kuni, when your baby kwe.
Eja Tamils.
Into ha. So what about it?
Yo. Atamos and Nekasemu.
Oh, and I pay Bompay.
And I pay my Bompay. So Joe Jackson will be our guest this morning. And of course, we are talking about the Chief Justice, his reference of the bribery allegation against him to the police CID to investigate and matters arising. We know the story, so I don't need to keep on running around it. So Joe, you are welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, if you look at this whole controversy and after monitoring the statements, counter statements, the reaction of the CJ and what the public is saying, how does it come to you?
I'll be honest with you. My first thought is that it's a storm in a teacup. You see, in this country, we can't choose when to live by the law and when not to choose to live by the law. Anybody can make an allegation, but you have to submit some sort of evidence with it. And to say that somebody said, think about it, what's the whole allegation? Somebody is in a fight about money received for some purpose. Then you say, oh, the money that I was taking, I will take it and go and influence X. Did you speak to X yourself? No. Is there any evidence that X was party and even knew the person he was talking about? No. So it sounds to me like as much as it is a sensational thing for us to hear that, hey, our Chief Justice name has been mentioned, when you read the issue critically, it is somebody saying something. And in fact, the substance of it is that the person who is saying it, you think, has defrauded you. So you are petitioning to get your money back. Now, even from your perspective, you don't believe any money went elsewhere. That's why you are saying, give me my money back. It's a storm in a teacup. And let us not denigrate the heads of our public institutions, and I mean the legal institution. If there's there's something of substance, by all means, let's discuss it. But I'm reluctant to take this issue beyond a certain. In any case, it won't go anywhere. People may seek to claim that they know people in power because of the issues to do with the ANAS issue and the judges. Everybody can say that judges can be influenced, but whether you have the ability or not, and whether you actually even know the people, or whether you are now planning to seek to go and influence them, I don't know. So really, it is sensational. Chief Justice. His name has been mentioned. But let's submit it to some critical thought here and critical analysis. And to say that, hey, Uncle Baby, it's not going anywhere. Because he said, who was there? Has any evidence been given? Now, the party who you are claiming is even saying that I don't know him. I never met him. It's not going anywhere.
Now, so at this stage, and we are dealing with an institution whose integrity must be protected.
Yes.
And the public perception out there has also been influenced by incidents in the past.
Yes.
And so in view of the difficulty in helping the average Ghanaian to understand, as you put it, that the lawyer involved, Akwesi Afrifa, would have that difficulty to prove to Ghanaians that the allegation he has made on hearsay is true or otherwise, would it be appropriate at this time that we look for an institution that will be independent enough to investigate this, or we should leave it to the police CID? Because there's a school of thought that if the Chief Justice is still in office, he is likely to influence the police because of his position. And that may go far enough to make the skeptics say that we are not satisfied with the outcome.
Listen, this, if it was left to me, is not even an allegation worthy of investigation. That's why I call it a storm in a teacup.
But it has left a blot on the image of the Chief Justice if the truth doesn't come out to exonerate him.
But you see, I like the American system. They say, first we go to court to seek an indictment before the judge, the trial itself can be heard. I don't think this case is indictable. And anybody who calls this a blot on the is not a Ghanaian, is unreal. All of us have heard stories of being able to influence judges. The stories were borne out by the Anas video, Anas documentary.
No, it was not born out of the Anas documentary. People have harbored this perception.
No, it was,
but
the
they have not been able to prove
but it was borne out. So it was proven that it does happen in various cases. Oh, well and good. But can we, what are we seeking to achieve here? It is a baseless, you see.
Are we saying that the Chief Justice who sits there today cannot be bribed because he's a human being?
No,
we cannot also leave out that element and say that.
But you see,
that's why an investigation to the end will be appropriate at this time.
No, but you can't start an investigation unless there is some basis that you can hold on to. Loose talk is not a basis. That I sit here and say, I know this minister or that minister and I can influence him, so give me some money, is not a basis. Because the person is seeking to collect money from you. And the person is seeking to say something that he expects you can't prove. Because it's done in darkness.
How do you compare this to the Kwesi Nyantechi comment on the Anas tape, where he makes reference to the fact that he can influence the president or the vice, because it is still an allegation. And at that time, because there was no proof, at least it got to a stage where action was taken against him. We don't know where the case is at the moment.
You see,
is it not similar allegation where somebody is saying that, okay, I've heard that somebody says, go and give the case, or they are going to take the case from me and they are going to give the case to an individual. That individual actually took over the case, but the controversy now is whether he can prove that indeed the chief actually told him what he said. Then the next stage will be whether the chief went ahead or the chief can prove.
Yes, but remember that in the case of Nyantechi, there were pictures of Nyantechi and the presidency and other parties that were proffered in evidence. So there is, at least today, if I say I can influence you, somebody will show that the two of us were here talking. And so maybe we should investigate because
we have been that close.
We have been that close. Has any evidence been attributed in any form or manner that anybody had this contact with the Chief Justice that should change the substance of the case? You understand?
I do.
Nyantechi, there was a picture, or pictures of him and the president.
Assuming that Akwesi Afrifa has a telephone conversation, because these days telephones sometimes have an automatic app that can record conversation without you activating it necessarily. Assuming that he has a telephone conversation, I'm only conjecturing, would that be enough to warrant an investigation?
If he had,
I'm talking about a conversation between him and the chief.
If he had a telephone conversation, of course, that's evidence. But as I said now, I don't know. And I haven't seen anything or any suggestion of such. Even if he showed that during the period, I went into the Chief Justice's office, I was alone.
No, he was not. The allegation he has made is based on hearsay from the chief he was serving, because the chief was his client.
Yes. But I'm saying that all this is neither here nor there, because absolutely no evidence has been attributed to it. No, it's all now hearsay. Okay, McCain, who is even there? Even give me a third party who was there, who said he said it. I was there when he said it. I corroborate what he said. No. It's a Tom in a teacup. And we should be careful not to tear down. You see, and we repeatedly do it. There were attacks on the EC head. There are attacks on the Chief Justice. And when we do that, let me tell you what we do. We undermine. So you attack the Chief Justice. In times past, we've attacked the EC. Then we go into 2024. Then there's a dispute. Who do we trust anymore in this country? I don't mind if there's some evidence, but if there's no evidence, I will. The natural justice says that there should be some thing before I can start to doubt you. Nothing has happened apart from somebody saying something. And then all of a sudden, it's a blot. You see, we may have issues with the Chief Justice. And again, my worry is that it is turning quickly partisan. In this country, everything is now become partisan. Right? And if you don't watch it, truth disappears. And it's only a partisan perspective. If you don't like the Chief Justice, hold on. Get some proper evidence. You can't just based on some allegation that up until now, strictly by the definition, is still baseless. Say it's a blot, we should investigate. And when you say you should investigate, it's public resources. It's a blot, we should investigate. There are issues. Where we are, you see, some of us are worried that very soon we will get to a point where no institution may be trusted, and every institution is seen along partisan lines.
So if institutions, and that's where my interest is, if institutions may not be trusted, or some people are working at destroying those institutions, where do you...
They are not working at destroying. They are so partisan that all they do is to see the institution as, if you are not for me, then you are against me. And every time there is an issue which I see that my version, my perspective, my interest was not upheld,
irrespective of the actors, because the actors of those institutions would also play a key role.
You see, listen, every institution is there because somebody has to play a key role in something that we need as a nation. Now, those institutions must be respected, and I'm not going to be party to tearing them down when there's no evidence.
Are you not closing a blind eye? And I'm not referencing this to the Chief Justice's case, because we are speaking to institutions and how we can make sure that we protect the integrity of these institutions. Are you not closing a blind eye on things you have seen by those who had some specific institutions which trigger such actions?
All I'm saying is that give me some little evidence of the bias you're talking about, of the corruption you're talking about, of the partisanship you're talking about, and let's deal with it. But let it not be what is, strictly speaking, as at today, still an allegation that we can't find any base. Is there anybody who says, I was there when it was said, or it was mooted? No. Is there anybody who has a telephone conversation? No. Is there, you see, otherwise...
So if you were advising, what do you think the Chief Justice should do beyond asking the police CID to investigate? One, he has referred it to the General Legal Counsel. Two, he says that he's considering a civil action against the lawyer who made the allegation. And I'm sure that three, he'll be taking other steps. Now, beyond that, what do you suggest?
If I was it, I'll pursue that civil action with all... You see, I will support this CJ in pursuing civil action. Why? Because if it is not true, we will all see. If it is true, we will all see. You see, let's be careful here. Sometimes people throw out allegations. You could throw out an allegation that, oh, when I entered Kwesi Mensah's office, he attacked me. Let's try and prove it.
Well, I will speak to this particular question again. I'll be taking a short break. And before that, this is the front page of the Daily Graphic. That's how they captured the Chief Justice's petition, which was sent to the police in the name of the Judicial Service. Ghanaian Times on its front page, over 558 fire hydrants vanish nationwide. It comes with a picture of an official of the Ghana National Fire Service. The Daily Dispatch on its front page talks about the Chief Justice, and read for yourself. It says Chief Justice asks police to investigate $5 million bribery allegation against him. The Daily Post comes with Felix Kwacho-Fosu and a picture of the Chief Justice. I'll tell you more about that after this brief breather.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. Simply natural.
Ifa kura na menye sika. Edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa na menya bosia. Edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre. Mi busia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yema kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodo bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, ekokro bosia, susu account. Ene da so wɔ hɔ savings account. Me bada chain savings account. Ene de akeka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896. Na won so wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Thanks for staying with us. And so I'm in the studio with Joe Jackson, Dalex Finance Director of Operations. And we've done some magic. He's called Kojo Edu Asare, former MP for Adenta, presidential staffer. He's also, you are, what's your office at the NDC headquarters?
Director for Special Duties.
Director for Special Duties. They call him Swagger. And I'm sure he's showing the swagger skills and the demeanor on set. I heard say, Wama opposition, Eyakonopa.
Well, you know.
And all the Bemanyami.
Granica said, Kuche.
What does it mean? That's interesting.
Kuche.
Kuche is a tiger. It doesn't die with, it doesn't grow old with its claws.
Okay.
And in as much as it's old, you don't joke with its claws.
It's still functioning. So you are in opposition, but you still there. All right. So it was the conversation was about the Chief Justice. He has officially responded. He has denied. He wants the police CID to investigate. He'll be taking civil action against Akwesi Afrifa, and then he wants the General Legal Counsel to also show interest in this allegation.
Eric, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
My brother Joe. It's been a while since I came in the studio. This issue, I do have an opinion. I just watching, and it looks like a very good episode to watch. Following from the views that people have opined as regards the presidential petition and all of that. For some of us in the NDC, we have a certain view of the Chief Justice and the manner in which the petition was handled, because we all thought that justice was not served, especially where the person of the EC, the EC chairperson, who should have been in a seat there to answer certain questions, where they found a way to, carve him off from that petition whatever you call it,
case.
So some of us have a certain view of him and the manner in which the handle.
That has nothing to do with an allegation that cannot be substantiated, at least for now.
That is what you are saying. The person who is alleging is about to be heard by the General Legal Counsel. He has also, I think, in his response, he made he assured that he was going to present evidence to that. Until that is done, we cannot sit here and assume it was just an allegation. So let's all wait and hear him out. Then we can either throw the issue out or begin to have this conversation about addressing the case in civil court and all of that. Nobody knows what the man wields in his hands or whatever he has to support his allegations with. And so let's be calm.
So what about the reference to the police CID? Some are saying the CID can do a good job. Others are saying that for the CID's job to be accepted by all, the Chief Justice should recuse himself.
Yeah,
what is your position on that?
That's a good thing to do, because if the CID does its work and finds a prima facie case against him, the case will be taken to court, right? Or establishes a prima facie case against him. The case will end up in court, which is where he presides over. How do you expect such an issue to be handled, where he sits there as a Chief Justice and his courts are the ones holding the trial?
Can it also not be seen as maybe somebody is executing his job as a public official, anybody throws in any allegation and immediately that person must go and sit somewhere? Is it not another culture that, okay.
If there's an allegation like this, it just goes to court.
I'm saying
there's a completely different process for dealing with the Chief Justice, because then he hasn't been through to his oath, etc. So it's just like the president.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a different process.
About if a prima facie case is established, because bribery is criminal. Okay, bribery is criminal. It is not like the conduct bit of it can be dealt with by the president. But once it still falls under crime, it must go to court. That is what I'm talking about. Because if it is established that there was bribe taking, there are two things that can happen. The president can, based on that, and
trigger a certain action.
But beyond that, the police can as well, because a prima facie case, crime has been established, then they can also...
But my understanding is that if there's a prima facie case, we will need to trigger certain action, to remove him as CJ, and then let him deal with that issue as a private individual. You understand? So at this, what I liked about what you said, I'll be honest with you, is that we are watching, which is good. Nobody can begrudge you watching. Nobody can begrudge and we have to even appreciate the fact that either in your personal or representing, you haven't made any statements yet, even though you admit that this man, I'm not happy with him, but as this is unfolding, I am just watching. I'm not happy with him. I think that's an excellent statement to make, to say, I'm not happy with him, but, well, we are watching. If it unfolds in one way or the other, then we'll be in a better position to comment.
To it. Exactly.
And I don't think anybody can fault that position. But a position that he should of necessity recluse himself, that's what I'm saying, that let's be careful because if you look in the Constitution, I don't think you can just go and take the Chief Justice to court. That's in that simple. There are certain positions that are treated differently.
You see, I agree with you 100%. But you see, like I'm sure we'll go to the next the next issue.
The next issue
regarding
the spousal salaries and so on.
The first lady has of necessity, of a sort, decided to, reject whatever is being given to her. Nobody put a gun to her head. But she realizes that this case is beginning to take a certain turn that is even obliterating the gains of a husband. And so has taken a certain moral step to say, let it be. Okay? Even though, according to the system that we have put in place, she hasn't erred. That is where the Chief Justice finds himself at this point. He may not have erred, but we are talking about an office that is being denigrated, in quotes, okay, by an allegation. It would be proper that he steps aside, gets the right things to be done, and when exonerated, he will be elevated even higher than the current position he finds himself, because all the cases against him would have proven that he is a much better person than we have presented him, or we are presenting him at this point in time. Because as at now, in the last 2 or 3 days or so, the office of the Chief Justice has been bastardized because of that allegation. And I would expect that he steps aside, not because there's any law that pushes him so to do, but to re-establish the sacrosanct of that office that he occupies. He should step aside, allow the system, the things he's even expecting the
General Legal Counsel or the police
CID to do. Let them go through that process. Once it is done and he is found to be innocent of all the charges, I'm sure it will be in a better place to walk back into that office with his shoulder high. Because at this point in time, entering that office even doesn't feel good anymore.
Do you subscribe to the same opinion?
You see, my difficulty about this sometimes is this. So, when, as a public official, somebody throws out an allegation, right? I am doing my work. Does that mean that as soon as that allegation is made, whether there's been some
substance to it
or not, I have to step down for a period so that we can investigate? That I hear you, my brother, and I hear you clearly, and I understand your position, but I don't agree with it in the sense that I can see where it's coming from, but I'm also worried that so as soon as we throw out an allegation, then you have to step down. I'm waiting, like you, to see whether we will start to get some
substance to...
As of now, but it is completely hearsay.
Now, is it strange? Is it strange that the CJ's office is as sensitive as the Judicial Service itself? That when cases of this nature come, you don't hear allied institutions, in this case, Ghana Bar Association, for example, which appears to be sitting on the fence, observing what is happening.
No, it's not sitting on the fence. It's just, I suspect they're all waiting for things to start to gel. You see, my problem now is that, and that's why I appreciate you saying we are watching, because nothing much has been said beyond an allegation thrown out. And because of the way this country now is social media, old media, etc., the allegation has been amplified, right? Let's, in as much as I can understand saying that it's a Chief Justice and because of his office, any investigation may not necessarily be as thorough because of the power he exerts. I also say that at this moment, nothing much has happened for me to say Chief Justice step down.
Okay. Wrap up and let's move on to the next topic. Legal counsel.
But he's also able to recluse himself from any sitting of the General Legal Council for which
how does that negate his authority over the?
But he's also asked CID to investigate.
Okay.
He's asked. See,
so I would even prefer that this case is given to an independent body, other than even CID.
ASEPA is proposing to Shraj to show interest in it.
I think it makes more sense so that their influence as judicial council and all those whatever will not affect the determination of that case.
Let's leave it like that and hope that as we continue to monitor, as Eduasari said, we'll look at the way forward. I'm sure we know.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. Of course, watch TVXYZ space. Now, let's look at the reaction by the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo. She says, since January 2017, she has received 899,097 cedis and 84 pesos. She's refunding all to the state. She also says something very instructive, that she did not demand what has been given to her. She's not party to the emolument committee and the terms of reference. She was not parliament that approved it. And henceforth, any money that comes to her in the name of the state to her office, she is not going to accept it. Apparently, this gives you an indication of the disappointment at which the way people have chastised her office or personality and her husband together because of an action by the state. How do you respond to this statement, Eduasari?
I think the husband and his team might have brought this onto them, because the husband is the president of the Republic of Ghana, and certainly if an issue of emoluments would be discussed, definitely it will emanate from cabinet. So what was the thought process that determined this new decision that went to Parliament? And you see, we've done a little whatever checks on how this issue was even presented to Parliament. It was presented on the last day of sitting in the 7th Parliament. The last day. At most about the last item
to be considered
before the closure of the 7th Parliament. What was the motive? Was it not to cover up sentiments that we are now getting the opportunity to express? Because if they had done it in the open, I'm sure people would have expressed this sentiment ahead of the parliamentary consideration. That did not happen. So it is not anybody who has brought this onto them. They themselves, and their clandestine manner in which they chose to present the case or the issue in Parliament.
Okay, I'm told that Professor Jampo is on the line. Okay. I will deal with him for just 5 minutes and come back to you. Okay. Sorry to cut you. Prof, good morning.
Morning.
Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Prof, this is not going to be a long engagement. First, you have a strong position on this. Can you summarize what you have put out there?
Oh, in terms of what? I'm always putting out plenty things, so I don't remember.
I think we are talking about a decision to pay the wives of the president and his vice and the controversies coming up.
Oh, but we've moved on from there. I think we should flow with what is happening now. This is something that happened. We all spoke against it. And subsequently, we are told that the wife of the sitting president has issued a statement saying she's not going to accept the proposal made by the Young Chairman Committee to have allowances regularized salaries. And then also she's refunding all magistrates since 2017 to date. And I think that is where it's got into now. So
sure.
It's not really about what's in the past. And I believe that is what we should be interrogating and be discussing. I am of the view that if she's been able to do that, it's something that is commendable. Indeed, I would say she has succumbed to the legitimately expressed enormous pressure against the recommendation to regulate her allowances into salary. But rather, I want to say that she has displayed a certain level of some principles and conscience that, in my view, do not come cheap. You know, so many leaders, when they are doing things and then even they undergo criticism or they suffer criticism and public outcry against what is happening, they tend to hold or believe in the cliche that, oh, in Ghana, any incident that happened and it is discussed will not last for more than a week. Another incident will happen, so then they would not pander to public opinion and all that. But I think what she has done is quite commendable, and we must commend her because this does not happen frequently in our body politics. And I want to say that others must follow suit. And in particular, my view is that members of parliament who have never been voted out of parliament before must also refund all illegal escrows and pay them as a way of helping to restore their credibility and legitimacy deficits within the Ghanaian body politic.
Okay.
Otherwise, we will continue to lose it with the populace and their constituents.
Okay, Prof, let me ask what appears to be another part of this conversation that may need further scrutiny. The Trades Union Congress, for example, says that they are aware that the monies have been paid and backdated to 2017. There is a school of thought that the recommendation by the committee, the emoluments committee, said they should be paid as cabinet ministers. We know how much cabinet ministers earn. If you do the computation, does it amount to the said amount that has been refunded to the state? How do we draw the line between what she has refunded, whether it's an allowance or it is the salary recommended as the TUC is insisting it's aware has been paid and backdated?
No, by the gesture that she has made itself for me suggests to me that she's done her calculations well. I do not want to have qualms with the monies that have been refunded or that are going to be funded, and then I do not want to raise issues with calculation. I mean, if she's bold enough to come and tell us that she's refunding those monies and that she's not going to accept the recommendations that have been made to regularize her allowances to salary, then I think we should credit her with some integrity and credit her to be somebody who has some principles and conscience. And so let's not go too much into it because, like I said, this does not even happen that frequently in our body politics. And so let us celebrate a good thing that has been done so that tomorrow, if a politician is quote and unquote politically misbehaving and there is public outcry and that forces the person to live by his own principles or her own principles and to also pander to public outcry, it should be something that that we must spell it.
Okay, all right.
As a way of also urging all other politicians to also emulate, because oftentimes, like I said, if politicians are set on a particular course and they are determined to do whatever they want to do, public outcry do not get them to resign their decision.
Okay, I understand the point you have made. Prof, we are so grateful, and I believe that many people will subscribe to the position you are holding now.
I'm grateful.
Thank you. So, Professor Jampo, we all know him so much. Now, let's come back to you, Eduasare. You were building a point.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to disagree at one point that Professor Jampo raised. The fact that it's something, it's the pressure. She has succumbed to pressure. It's not about any principle, okay? Because this thing started somewhere towards the end of last week. And if she had done what she did yesterday, the very day it came up, then one would have said that it was a matter of principle. But it is because there has been an incessant pressure from all corners. And that pressure is beginning to tell on her integrity. And I'm sure that is the reason that I pushed her to do so. But as to whether, as I was saying, they brought this onto themselves because of the manner in which it was presented through Parliament and all of that. So people are now beginning to express issues that they should have expressed some 6-7 months ago. Okay? And so nobody can blame them for doing so. But moving forward, I think all the others, if many monies have been paid to them, especially under the current dispensation, as has been recommended by the Emoluments Committee, all of them must return the money. We are comfortable, I believe, as a country, we are comfortable with the fact that a certain allowance is paid to spouses of our presidents and vice presidents. We are comfortable with that because nobody, including myself, has ever complained about that, because we all know that even having left office, some of them are running some NGOs, they have staff in their office and all of that, and a certain stipend from government towards them is not wrong. But what we are talking about is the fact that you want to now put them under the same status as ministers of state and give them all the emoluments that a minister of state benefits from, including ex gratia, if need be. Then that is where the issue is. So people are trying to say that, oh, because this thing was started some years ago and it's not a new thing and all of that. We are not attacking the principle behind giving that allowance. That is not what we are dealing with. Because I am of the view, and because I worked at the office of the president, I know very well how even monthly some food staff and whatever is sent to the spouses of former presidents, those dead and alive, from the office of the chief of staff. Okay, these are things that I think are proper and right.
What about those who are trying to rationalize it by saying that, look, there was no cap, and so a budgetary allocation to the presidency can be X. The president or any president tomorrow would then decide that I want M amount, and that M amount could be higher or lower. So this recommendation was trying to legitimize and ensure that there is an appropriate.
Is there any such precedent to buttress that point? There hasn't been. And definitely, if you are going to raise or give a raise, there usually are certain scope within which you operate, not beyond that scope. And that has been the system we've been running. Definitely, what do you call it? Emoluments have evolved from time to time. And so if you are giving, sometimes based on what Parliament approves for members of Parliament and ministers of state, whatever percentage is what would also apply in this respect.
To the convention that was being applied. Let me take Joe Jackson's response to this controversy.
You know, the truth of the matter is that I don't think anybody is against, like you're saying, against any allowance. The challenge was now relating them to ministers of state who have specific portfolios and specific performance indicators. And you see, as much as we know that our first ladies, and they do certain things, it is of their own choosing. And some first ladies are very active, some are not active as much as others, but it's fine. We elected their husbands. They are not in an elected position. We acknowledge them. We know that they have a role to play. But so what if somebody got into the position who didn't even have a spouse? It gets murky. It gets murky. And it's obvious that Ghanaians are pretty much against giving them money of a certain kind, classified in a certain way. And the comments that came were nasty. And she's returning the money because the comments hit at her badly. But remember, the process was that people were defending, comments were coming, people were defending, comments were coming. Truly, when you read the statement, you get the sense that it's okay. It's okay.
She's angry.
She's angry. Take your money. My poor mamo. Which is fine. It's her right. Everybody will receive something.
So who caused it? Edwasari attempted. Because many people, and some of the comments I read, said that, look, we all know the first family, by virtue of the position of the president, should not be people living in misery. And so it is the thought behind just dipping your hand into the state coffers and amassing wealth that has brought this unfortunate issue to her doorstep.
First of all, I truly don't think it's amassing wealth. Let's be clear. The amounts were not extraordinary, but there's a certain symbolism that Ghanaians don't like. And what is it that we are saying? Ghanaians are just saying that I elected the president, I expect the president to work in a certain way, let's pay him, let's make him comfortable, but let's not stretch and stretch and stretch this. And there's a line in the sand. We'll give our first lady some allowances, but we are not going to pay them a salary. I think the issue is not that complicated or that hard to understand.
Does it bring the matter to rest? By the gesture of Rebecca and Samira, which will follow.
Let me be clear. The matter is nowhere at rest. Listen, is the rule in the law? It is. Are Ghanaians unhappy with the law? They are. You see, if I'm unhappy that a host of this program is paid 100,000 cedis per program, I am unhappy with it. If you get angry and return it, the next host, can they take the same? Yes. So we have to address that issue. And people have taken it to court. It doesn't change anything. They are taking the law and challenging the law. They are not taking an individual to court. Was
Rebecca,
Auntie Becky? Was she party to the suit? No. So the issue is not at rest. And what she has done is that she's saying, "Ghana for ye, why ye me kakra ye? Me here mo akọ homa." That's fine, but it doesn't change the issue. How can that change the issue?
Because it's law.
It's law. And people are unhappy with the law. And as Ghanaians, if I'm unhappy with the law, I can go to court and say, hey, examine the law and change it to. That one, you can't stop anybody. So the matter is not at rest.
Okay, yesterday I spoke
today, you even said something. You said the second lady will do so in due course. How do you know? How do you know? Are you privy to?
I'll check. I'm sure she may have done it already.
I don't know. The point is that it's not for me. It's
I am not
I
speculating.
haven't seen anything like that.
It is in there. If you look at the statement issued by the First Lady. And I want to read the statement.
That's from her office.
Not the second lady.
Okay.
So what about all the others in the process? Because it wasn't just her. There were other...
while I'm trying to pull it, I would want to ask this question. Because yesterday I had an interview with Dr. Kojo Asante, a senior research fellow at CDD. And he said that the case involving the spouses of the president and the vice is just one angle that the state must look at. The convention where Parliament also enjoys certain privileges, which goes to milk the state, as people want to put it, must also be looked at so that we bring closure to it once and for all. Your opinion on this suggestion?
Well, I think that, especially on that, I would recommend that if any MP returns to Parliament or is retained in Parliament, their ex gratia should be deferred. So when they are no longer coming back, then it is paid to them once and they go. Because I have been a member of Parliament and I know how Parliament feels like. And I know how post-Parliament also feels like. So for me, yes, it requires a little bit of, for those who have not been there, it may sound like a broken record to them. Oh, MPs don't deserve it, MPs don't deserve it. But if they took their time to do an analysis of MPs that we have had, the turnover of MPs that we have had, and their current state they find themselves, it will give them a lot of information to know how to deal with MPs, past MPs, and for that matter, current MPs. And I can tell you for a fact, that it is not a good story to tell. I'm sure you are a journalist, a senior one at that, and one of the things I would wish you and your institution does or do is take your time from 1992 or 3. Maybe let me take, because those ones were quite older. A lot of them might have, left the scene. But start from 96 and check the MPs who did not get the opportunity to return to Parliament. Check their life as you find it today and come and report to
many people will disagree with you because they will say that you have put yourself in it because you're a former member of Parliament.
Yes.
If a teacher taught for 4 years and after 4 years he went home with bags of money in the name of ex gratia, with all the privileges you enjoy within 4 years, they will tell you that, thank God. So what you are saying,
you see,
it's nothing.
Let me just answer him, and then I'll just 2 minutes.
The typical Ghanaian will tell you that what you are saying, he doesn't subscribe to.
You see, a teacher has a lifetime, what do they call that? Tenure of
to be in service.
Yes, but an ex-MP, where does he find himself?
He can lecture.
Lecture where?
He can. But of course. Many MPs.
Everybody can
even
lecture.
As we speak,
every MP, even when you are not cut.
I'm just citing this.
Please, listen. I'm not saying
you are making reference to teacher.
Listen.
And I'm saying that
Eric,
if it is that profession,
where am I going to lecture? Me? What is my background to go and lecture?
So the premise.
So you cannot. You can put a few people in that box. Not all of us.
What we are saying is that the MPs, as far as this conversation has been extended to, cannot say that we are looking at our life after Parliament, and so there's justification for what
nobody is saying that. The thought process before that issue was arrived, is what we should examine.
He wants to come in. Let him come in briefly, then you can continue.
First of all, let's stop conflating this First Lady issue and the MPs. The MPs, I elected them. They are my elected members of Parliament. So when they get salaries, benefits, whatever, we can examine that on the basis of that they are.
I agree with you.
So let's not. I worry that we are conflating
apples and oranges.
Yes, the First Ladies are not. elected. They are elected by their spouses, not by us as Ghanaians. Were you there?
No, but the proponent of this is CDD. And so it's a subject they want to put on the table.
We disagree with CDD.
Somebody jokingly said through sexually transmitted.
We are not there. So please, I have no part or lot in selecting a spouse, which is fair. So put the spouse matter aside. Ghanaians have expressed adequately how they feel about paying spouses a salary rather than giving them an allowance. It is clear. Put that one aside. MPs, we may be unhappy with their remuneration. Let's deal with it. And you see, I'm unhappy about something. Politics in this country is expensive. Nobody wants to do anything about it, and yet we are setting ourselves up for a certain style. And I get angry. Did you finance the election in any way?
As a state?
No. As an individual. Did you give anybody money to help finance this election that is so important to you? And I challenge Ghanaians. You don't want to finance the election. Nobody wants to put any money. Me, every election, I find one or two people to give them. It may be a widow's mite, but at least let me contribute towards the democracy that is important to me. So he's an MP. He finances it with only his money. And we demand, and we demand, and we demand. And nobody goes there to say, Oga, sit down. Let's rationalize this thing and make sure you are not taking away too much money or you are not losing too much money. Part of the reason why MPs are in a state that cannot maybe even described as destitute is that when they lose an election, their losses are so huge that it is difficult to recover. I think financing MPs, elections, is a conversation that as a nation we should have.
Okay.
And all of us should seek to help finance the democracy that we enjoy. Everybody, and in this studio, cameramen, everybody, hosts, technical people at the back, everybody should ask yourself, how much have you contributed? Have you put 20 CDs down to finance the election? It's easy for us to sit here and talk. They are this, they are that, they are partisan, they are chopping too much money. Finance it.
Okay.
Then when you are angry, the anger will be
legitimate.
Okay. And so, morally justified.
So, would you mind if I do a few text messages and then we wrap up? Okay. This one says, Chief Justice 5 million bribery allegation. If Ghana was a serious nation, CJ would have resigned by now to allow for proper investigation. This text message from Mukaila Jones says that thank God that finally the First Lady together with the Second Lady have rejected the payment of allowances to them. My concern is if she refunds her money paid her since 2017, Lordina and others must also be asked to refund theirs. This one says, I taught for 37 years and had less than 10,000 cedis as pension. None of my children will be a teacher. Amewu sent this. You didn't tell us where this text message came from. Chorus Call says, the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, to refund all allowance given back to the state. We wish that they all succumb to the call. We thank God. I hope it's not a 9-day wonder. This one came from Dramina says, I like the man in the middle. They are talking about Joe Jackson. He didn't say much beyond that. Eben from Kwabenya says, I heard the First and Second Ladies, they don't like the salaries anymore. If it is so, we are happy because they are not working for us. The taxpayers' money is needed for other better things. Regards to Nitaki, is it Ayijendu or something? Teacher Kujo from Tepa, Anyen Suanu sent this. God bless the First Lady for the magnanimous decision. Now let's see if Mrs. Lordina Mahama will also refund the money she received under NDC. The secret agenda of the NDC is always to cause tension in this country. Mustafa from Lower Manya says, we have come to a point in time where using common sense, speaking factual truth and asking honest questions have been deemed radical behavior, while manipulation, hypocrisy, dishonesty are rewarded. And it goes on and on and on. This text message from Boshaba in Gos Zongo says President Akufo-Addo should not listen to anyone about the appointment of his MMDCs and focus on the hardworking and reappointment of those he deserves, those who deserve it. Kudos to the First Lady on her decision, but my question is, when is Lordina Mahama returning her money? So it's trending.
Pressure is shifting.
Same Buachi Asamanka says, you see the hypocrisy and double standards of John Mahama. After paying your wife an amount of 22,000, blah, 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 you deliberately cancel the nurses and teachers' allowances. Plenty text messages. The time is up. Let me do the last one, which came from the top. It says, my brothers, Rebecca Akufo-Addo and Hajia Samira Baumia, have been paid based on internal committee since 2017. When the matter broke, both of them were dead and quiet. So it talks and goes on and on and on, and says now they've rejected it. So that's it. 30 seconds to wrap up. I'll come to you, Dwasari.
Well, the Ghanaian sentiment against paying salaries is obvious, and I think we should look at it.
Okay.
And I say, finance the democracy, and don't treat the parliamentarians as if they were all thugs and thieves.
All right. Brief comment, 30 seconds.
Well, I think, as I said, Ghana is becoming exciting weekly, by the week. And I thank God we have all been here. We told Ghanaians that this government will put us into an area we don't want to get into. Unfortunately, they didn't listen. So here we are.
Okay, so Edwasari is a former member of parliament for Adenta, former presidential staffer, and of course, is also the director in charge of foreign relations, special duties at the NDC headquarters. Today, they are addressing a news conference. We believe it's about CJ's issue, and we'll be sharing that with you tomorrow. Joe Jackson, director of operations, Dalex Finance. He got Oscar Interpescal friend. Nakajibi Odbomo. Ahana is busy. Nyame yadum ochena.